Now, obviously, with all the things, Rodgers was still great. Rodgers did well, over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. But of course, the way that this ended, the story that carried on past the end of the game was, of course, that of MVS. Now, MVS, and I'm going to preface it with this, MVS is the reason we got into overtime, right?
Yeah,
MVS during the game had a big pass interference call, right? So that they stopped him because it was going to be a touchdown. Otherwise, he also caught a bomb on 3rd and 10 from their own end zone that put him in range to actually go and tie up the game. And he fumbles in overtime, which, by the way, when we got the ball, I was just like, oh, finally. We won a coin toss. This is amazing. Like, we're finally going to get the ball. Like, there's all the flashbacks of like losing all those overtime games. They started flooding into my mind. He fumbles the ball.
I thought it was a good opportunity. Anytime, from a confidence level, when you get the ball first, you think, oh, we'll go win this game.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're Matt Hasselbeck and, we want the ball and we're going to score because that did not happen.
Nobody on that team.
But yeah, so MVS fumbled and just not so great things transpired afterwards. And Ryan, which one do you want to talk about first? Do we want to talk about the death threats from garbage people, or do you want to talk about the garbage reporting?
Let's talk about the death threats from the people first.
Okay.
Because
let's just start off with that nice little appetizer there.
Let's start off with that little appetizer.
So similar to Ty Montgomery, when he fumbled coming out of the end zone on a return.
And my guy as well. And also my guy who messed up on the made a mistake in the
Brandon Bostic.
Yes.
Bostic. Oh, yes. You hear some of the interviews that he has done, and people legitimately I'm going to kill you. Like it was bad. Yeah. And I'm going to say this, fans hurling death threats at MVS, and it was honestly disgusting. A positive, obviously, and I'm happy to support the team that does this. You saw a ton of his teammates coming out on social media and supporting him. Coach LaFleur supporting, everybody kind of just being like, hey, we're in it. He actually answered questions the very next day from the press and was just like,
he stood up. I appreciate that he right away stepped up and was willing to acknowledge and have a conversation and dialogue around the whole situation. So he's clearly he's got a good foundation and I love the fact that guys came up to his bat and supported him and stuff like that. It's a team game, and in all aspects.
Yeah.
That's how it is on all aspects. Yes, everyone individually can make a statement about the fact that, guys don't play well, or an individual might say, that person didn't play well, or that unit didn't play well. But when it gets to that point, like I said off camera, it's unacceptable. Like that stuff is it's absurd, and it really you've seen it. Trust me, he's not the only player on a team that is getting those threats. It's part of, unfortunately, it is part of our culture. It's part of sports. It's part of the over celebration, or the highly hyper celebrated, sensationalized aspect of sports that we live in, where celebrities are idolized and in the same breath idolized as these gods, and oh my goodness, oh, you're bigger than this. And then when you do something wrong, it's like, how dare you? You're here for my entertainment, and and it's so interesting. It's like these fans, and I say these fans in the manner of, I'm a fan as well, but I've been fortunate to, I don't have that perspective where someone's quote unquote wrongdoing or mistake in a game gets me to the point that I care about wishing harm upon them ever, that what they did. You're not talking about malicious act. You're not even talking about like they sabotaged. You're not talking about they hurt someone. And now, if he would have said, I did it on purpose, even that, it's still to me like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, whoa, MVS.
He rips off, there's a Colts jersey underneath.
Exactly. I'm trying to sabotage. Like, you know what? I don't care about none of this team, whatever.
I don't even like cheese.
It's like, whoa, dude, like that's whack. That's super disrespectful. You're going to have to handle some of them dudes in the locker room. But I'm still like, wish harm upon you. Like, I want you to no longer exist.
Alive.
It's
yeah.
like, hey, guys, ladies and gents, this is a game. And I understand that it's a highly valued venue, business entity, celebrated game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Game. It is a game. It is something that we enjoy. They enjoy playing. And if you think that because of the amount of money that comes along with this game, the seriousness that comes along with this game, or your personal lack of other and investment into this game validates you speaking to an individual or creating a circumstance where you feel that is just okay. It's like, no, get over yourself.
Yeah.
And really, you need to do some inner work. And now the next podcast will be work on, well, let's get a good name for that. It will be the inner dwellings of you Packer fans, because there's bigger issues podcast. But no, yeah, it's unfortunate. It's disheartening. It's like, come on, really, guys. And I know that it's in the moment, but we do have control over that, and it happens. You know, somebody said something. I saw somebody tweet, like, especially with what happened in 2020, and I was like, well, what is the relevance of that? And they're like, it's just the virus, and I'm like, what? No, it's every year. Like,
that's not like, 2019. Oh yeah, death threats. Yeah, keep coming, guys.
No, well, that's about. Wait a minute. 2014 was. Hey, that's understandable. No,
that's fine. But once there's a pandemic, then you got to cool it at least for a few months.
Put it all in perspective, guys. No. I said, I told you off camera that in 2011 when we lost that game against the Giants. Jesus Christ, bring that up. But when we lost that game and I fumbled. And this was early Twitter.
Yeah.
Early Twitter.
Yep.
I was getting shots from everything. Bigot, racism, sexist. I don't even like the sexist stuff was interesting. I got it all. And how dare, as if anyone, like, I'm sorry. So I'm still apologizing to that. But yeah, it's one of those things, and it hasn't gotten any better. Just put it all in perspective, people. Really, I understand it but this game, you sometimes, I don't know, the fans, you hold on to you guys and ladies and gents. When I say guys, I mean everyone. We are holding on to this identity. There's like an identity around the team that when they do something that like you're less than, and how I can't leave, you're not worthy of existing.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wow. Like, nah, there's nothing. I'm not big on putting any property rights over human rights and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's disheartening, and end of rant right there.
Yeah, I think so. Like, considering your experience with it firsthand and like going through it, what do you do as a player? And obviously, you're speaking for yourself, but what do you do as a player? Like, do you just like, okay, that's enough Twitter today, and like log it off? And because MVS came out and said like the only opinions that really matter are the people in that building, right? Like they're the only ones at the end of the day. But I feel like there has to be a level where you're just like, okay, like this is pretty crappy, I'm not gonna lie. Like, how do you internalize that, or just?
I think you put it in perspective.
Yeah.
It would be kind of foolish to think that you can totally. We live in a day and age where social media is so much a part of everything we do, from the interview process to everything, advertising, clips. Everything's digital, and everything is around that. So, by no means do I think that even in 2009, it wasn't like, oh no, get off. There's so much, and even the way that guys are communicating on social, like with it. I remember I was talking with the training staff, and they were saying that you can't call guys. There's no calling. Everything is text digital. Like, you have to hit them, whether this is to get in contact with the players.
Yeah. You
have to text them, hit them on the social media, and everything like that. So it's very much a part. So to think that most guys are going to ask, like, no, I don't follow that at all, not be a part of it. It's not realistic. And reinforcing to help with that is, yes, you have to reinforce your relationships with the team and make sure that you guys are on the same page, because it's such the magnitude of social media. If you're not solid, if there's not a strong foundation on that team, individually and unit wise and across the board, meaning that they're not having conversations like, hey, we didn't put together the best product, like, but let's stay tight, let's stay together. It is really easy with these waves of social media to break through these chains, because like, you know, that notion around you're only as strong as your weakest link, it's real. Mm-hmm. Somebody hears somebody says, hey, well, I heard, you know, anybody at this point in time, like there's no quote unquote validation in a tweet. You just see it all. So it's, you know what I mean? Anybody could say something, hey, well, I heard this from this. And if that gets to somebody and they start to question, oh, well, what, you know, if they're not already like tight and they know like, no, I'm Trump tight in regards to the fact that whatever, it doesn't even matter. We'll address it in the locker room. And, you know, I do. There are certain things where it's like, no, that's like what stays in the locker room.
Sure.
What happens in the locker room stays in the locker room. So I think that I like the way he handled it. At the same breath, you do have to, there to some degree, I'm not mad at him stepping up to some of it, you know, and that kind of carries over and transitions into the next phase.
What a Mr. Ryan Gray, what a great transition. What a pro, what a professional here.
Yeah.